Math 2 students, your next project deals with calligraphy. Calligraphy is just a fancy style of handwriting that a lot of people have used throughout history. A lot of the history, when you think of calligraphy, you might think of writers for poetry, the old books, the Old Testaments, things like that, where they tried to record history using like quill pens, things like this that you might see, and then they were dipped in ink. Except today we can go a little bit more modern with calligraphy and use these nice pens right here that have different types of thicknesses on the bottom. There is a wrong way to hold the pen and a right way. If you can see this way, it has all of these little lines in it right here, and the pen is backwards. So if you can see the silver, you're holding it the right way. We are going to be practicing writing. We are going to be doing poetry or lyrics to like music. But the easiest way to start learning how to use calligraphy is use the old Chancery italic hand, which gives you, as you can see, different angles and strokes. So this letter A, the capital A, has 4 different types of strokes on it. Each one is a different stroke, meaning that you would pick up your pen and not do a continuous stroke unless it's like the letter C, where you can see it's one continuous. Most importantly, this will help you to kind of develop your own artistic style with writing, and also might help you to clear up your own handwriting if you're a little messy. I like the Chancery and other types of styles that are in here if you wanted to try to practice. There's Gothic, there is more of a modern Uncial style, and there's like old Roman style, which we are very familiar with through text and different types of fonts. But the easiest way, gives you a lot of angles, is the Chancery italic hand. This is the one we will be practicing with. It does not mean that you cannot practice others after you learn and get embedded in your mind the strokes of the letters. So the repetition will help you to remember the strokes. Also, what you were looking for, on the pen pad, on the practice pad, you're going to see something that says different angles. There's a 45-degree and a 30-degree angle. That is how you hold your pen. So to remind you, you can see that the pen must be on the angle all the time. So when you are to get the pen to work, you might have to tap it to get the ink to start to flow. And now the ink is flowing. So 45 means that you hold your pen in that 45-degree angle, but you're also pulling straight down, because what you're looking for is that beveled edge. You can see it on the strokes here, like the letter C. You see the beveled edge up there, and that's what you are going for. So what you're going to practice, you're going to do a whole row, like a half a row of A's, capital, half a row of lowercase, and do every letter in the alphabet. When you start, when you're looking at this pen pad here for practice, you're going to see 1, 2, 3 main rows, and also you'll have a dashed row. These 3 main rows, each one, there's a row, that will help you with ascenders and descenders. An ascender is something that, here's your 3, 1, 2, 3. An ascender is something that goes above the middle line. A descender is like the letter F or G. It goes below and hits the next row. So ascend above, descend, go below, just like you see on the P here. So when you start, we have a lot of these printed off for you. You will see that the A goes down and over. Look at the stroke. Practice it in your mind without touching the pad. Embed it in your mind. So 1 down, across, 2, 3, and then 4, it has a little ribbon-like edge. So when you start, I'm going to start right here on this row. Make sure my pen is working. Tap, looks good. Hold it at my 45-degree angle. I'm going to start with my A. It goes down and it swoops. And then the second one is down with a little up. Third one goes right across. Fourth stays at the 45 and curls down. A. So you're going to do a row of these. It might look slightly different because they are doing different thicknesses of the pens. Now, I have a few different thicknesses on the pens, but not very many. If you really wanted to practice the old style, then you will see, like this has numbers on it, like C something. This is a lot thicker line, as you can see, and then they're just pressed inside and held on, like so. But we need just regular ink. You dip it in, you hold it the same way, and your letters, but you can see how wide those letters are going to be compared to that letter P. But I have different thicknesses like these if you really want to try the old style. So you'll do a row of A's, and I'm not going to do them all because you can read just as well as I can. If it is a descender, let's look at the letter G. The G is 1, the 1, and it goes across, and then 2. So the idea is to do it in one complete rotation. So if I was doing the letter G, it would come all the way across, hit there, and swoop through. 2 is a descender. As you can see, it goes down to the next row, right through there. Idea is to keep that 45-degree angle on your tips. To kind of practice your 45-degree, do some cursive U's to see if you can keep your angles kind of correct. Just to get used to it, do some cursive E's. Get used to the pen, all right? And you can see the lowercase. The lowercase a is in one complete stroke. So if I was doing a lowercase, that means it goes from here to here. So the A, the one complete stroke, goes around, comes up, has a little hook on it. Goes all the way around, has a little hook on it. Okay? After you get used to writing these, go all the way through the alphabet, and you should be a little more comfortable. Then you are going to do your first calligraphy project, and that is creating a nameplate. When you create your nameplate, we will be using a light board. Let me get this set up. We're going to be using a light board, white sheet of paper, thick paper, not the thin paper, and you will have this clear transparent plastic piece that has a lot of multiples of lines on it. You might have a number on the top. That might tell you your quill size on your pen, but don't really pay attention so much to it. What I would do if it was me, I'm going to use 2 boxes. So my ascender goes up, my lowercase go on the second row of lines. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that on. You are going to practice your own name. So this will help you to keep all of your letters straight because you will not be using a piece of paper that has lines for you. So place it in, whether you have to tape it. I'm not going to get tape out right now, but I would tape down this piece of paper so it doesn't move on you. As you can see, it's moving on me a little bit. Then I would also tape this one down. You can see your lines coming through. So if I was practicing my name, I'm going to try to hold this and start at the same time. So I'm 45-degree angle, and I'm using my strokes that I just learned. Maybe I'll change them a little bit just for my style. A lowercase, 45-degree angle. I have a descender, and then I'm going to do a letter L, 1 stroke. Give it a little hook. Might be a little too big of a gap. As you can see, as I'm writing, the Amy looks good. The Ludwig's a little crooked, and that's just because my paper is turning, so that's why it's very important to tape everything down. But you're going to do a whole line of your name. I'm just going to go really fast. I'm not really using the calligraphy style, but there you go. I'm going really fast there. Now, I need to pick out my best one. Obviously, your first one might not be the best, and it could be. So when you go to your next one, do not start right in this area because you're going to be overlapping your letters. So make a big gap. Start somewhere else where your letters don't even apply, where they're not touching or connecting in some way. Say this one ends up being the best. So here's my Amy Ludwig. Have it all there. I'm going to do without doing a border around it, I'm going to go to the cutting board. I'm going to make sure I have a little bit of a gap at the top, same gap at the bottom. I'm going to cut this out perfectly even. Then I'm going to grab some illustration board. Illustration board's a little thicker. There's some different colors back there. I'm going to take this, and then I'm going to take my design, and I'm going to glue it in there. So I have a blue border all the way around to create a nameplate of your name. That will be your first assignment on this, using your calligraphy techniques. Your second assignment using your calligraphy techniques is to do a lyric or poetry assignment. So you can use a poem. You may use a famous quote. You may use a verse from a piece of music that you like. With that, you are going to create a collage. This collage is going to have a lot of variety on it. I'm going to give you a list of things that you need to have, so please ask for the list. This will help you in your development, but in the end, it might look something like this. So you will not be using any light board, but you're going to use a creative touch on there. And you can see like the letter S has some swirls, so this is a place where you can use your own flair. There might be some blurred images. This is supposed to give it like an older look. It is a very interesting collage using variety of papers, transparent papers, to using image transfer, which we have used before. You will be creating it on a piece of white illustration board, so your image transfer looks very good. You will have to practice with the glue stick for your image transfer. We practiced this one day, beginning of the semester, using glue stick. Works really good. So you can take magazines, you can take pictures, anything from text to pictures, and transfer them over. You can see like there's some images here. There's like an old railroad track coming through. There's text from newspapers and magazines to create a border. Then I have a little painting on top, a little glaze media with some shimmer paint, some extra papers, transparent. This is all papers that have that all the way in there. I have a lot of rules that you can go through. This is just the least creative, and then you're going to write your text in a creative manner. This is another simpler example. It kind of shows some of the burning and image transfer on there, and used as, it was a big one and I cut it up for bookmarks. So you will have one of those to create.